Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
You know, the last 2 weeks ago was when there was a court decision.
Yes.
But then, in your absence, CHRAJ.
Yes.
I didn't know that there were objections.
Oh yes, major objections.
Yeah, I didn't know that there were objections to the CHRAJ thing, because you know all along, what we're told was that you had gone to CHRAJ.
Yes.
The affected persons were cooperating with CHRAJ. But then, when we read, I actually read the details of the CHRAJ decision, and I realized that there indeed were actually some very serious objections trying to oust the jurisdiction of CHRAJ as far as this issue is concerned. Can you take us through what actually the issues are?
Yes. So you recall that on the 16th of January, when I broke the story about the double identity and conflict of interest scandal at the National Cathedral Secretariat, or within the Board of Trustees of the National Cathedral Secretariat, where I revealed that a key member of the board, the former secretary of the board, he was the foundation secretary before Godfrey Addo took over as secretary, who has now resigned. I did also a few days ago reveal that the Attorney General has jumped ship.
When did he resign?
He resigned on the 19th of January.
This year?
This year.
2023.
January 2023.
What were his reasons?
So I have a copy of his letter here. The Executive Council, National Cathedral, Godfrey Addo, resignation as secretary. Respectfully, as you are aware, at incorporation, I am named as secretary to the Executive Council of the National Cathedral of Ghana. However, owing to my limited involvement in the affairs of the organization and the demands of my office, I deem it necessary to vacate the position for a new secretary to be appointed. In the circumstances, I hereby respectfully notify you of my immediate resignation as secretary to the Executive Council. I wish the organization the best of God's blessings in the years ahead.
Limited involvement.
Limited involvement. So, very clever resignation letter. Many analysts believe that he wants to create an insulation for himself because it's been full of scandals.
When was this resignation?
On the 19th of January 2023. It was kept away from everybody, from the public, but as usual, we keep digging and intercepting documents. I have the response here. The board of the National Cathedral met and accepted the resignation letter and has now appointed a new secretary. They have now appointed Senna Chartered Secretaries Limited. Interestingly, a company which has some interest in ownership. The appointment takes effect from the 16th of March 2023. So from the 16th of March, and I followed up to the...
So the board of the National Cathedral met?
Yes.
Are you privy to those who were in attendance?
Well, I have the resolution signed by Apostle Professor Pokonyina and Reverend Dr. Joyce Rosalind Aye. They don't tell us who were in attendance, but they signed the board resolution. These two, Apostle Professor Pokonyina and Reverend Dr. Joyce Rosalind Aye. So they communicated to the Office of the Registrar of Companies that they should amend their records accordingly. And I have the amended records here. The articles of incorporation reveal that Godfrey Addo, the Attorney General, is no longer the secretary, and that Senna Chartered Secretaries have taken over. They have a lady called Esther Obendakon, who is from Senna Chartered Secretaries. So she is replacing Godfrey Addo. It's quite revealing because remember that I had been going after the Attorney General that really, if you are interested in going after people who make false statutory declarations, who mislead public officers, who are engaging in criminality, and now I can say that without a fact, the High Court, Human Rights Division, has ruled that the conduct of Kusibuati Edu borders on criminality. Borders on criminality. So if you are an Attorney General and Minister of Justice, not selective justice, but justice, you can't be going after Honorable Kwesi, saying he should be having a daily trial, should be prosecuted on a daily basis. And then your board member, who you are sitting with, and this resignation has come late in the day. In 2023, these matters were happening from 2019 all the way to 2022. Indeed, the relevant period is 2021, where he was there. So even though his resignation letter, clever as he thinks he is, saying I have had limited involvement, you are the boss secretary.
It's probably been factual.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't exonerate you. It doesn't excuse you. It does not absolve him. So, look, if we are in a country of law and order, rule of law, justice is blind, justice is not discriminating. How is it that he is even still serving on the board? Kusibuati Edu, whatever the real name is, only God really knows. He's still serving on the board, has not been fired, he hasn't resigned, he's not being prosecuted. And yet the Honorable Kwesi, look, if you look at the charges against Honorable Kwesi, the Attorney General's department doesn't have to do a lot of work. You can just juxtaposition. Deceit of public officer, false statutory declarations, misleading public officers. I mean, are these not charges that apply fair and square in this case? When a court of competent jurisdiction, the Human Rights Court, has said, and look, the judge did not mince words, even went after his lawyers, that they should have offered him some better advice. So you have a situation where an Attorney General who is so associated to this cabal is turned the other, is looking the other way. He is not showing any interest. No prosecutions have begun, and yet is going after political opponents. Be that as it may, on the 24th of July, 2023, CHRAJ offered or delivered a very significant ruling. So since the 16th of January, when I petitioned CHRAJ on these matters, with the exception of the controller...
I've just realized why you did not name the ownership of it. I've just discovered why.
Ownership of what?
Just the company that is now the secretary to the Cathedral.
Is there a problem with it? Is there a problem with the ownership?
I'll tell you of it.
Mischievous Dr. Randiabe.
I'll tell you why he didn't discuss it.
Why? What's the problem?
I'll tell you of it.
So, Doc,
yes.
on the...
I understand you're not doing full disclosure.
Oh, no. I've always been... I've always been...
Just like he's still not told us the reasons for his...
No, that's
resignation from the committee.
Why are you not doing full disclosure?
Oh, no, that's no issue. I just didn't want to walk into family
just go
matters.
Just go
but I mean,
you're related to them?
My uncle is behind it. So that's no problem.
So because of that, you don't do full disclosure?
No, that's I mean, it's irrelevant, really, but no problem. I mean, as I've told you.
So if your uncle was involved, you would do full disclosure?
No. I mean, I've made a point that it has interest in ownership. I just
so once you brought that there's ownership of interest, you should let us know.
This is public information. It's public information.
No, but we're having a discussion. Yeah. And I need to be fully apprised because maybe I have a comment.
I have made full disclosure.
You need full disclosure.
No, you said from your uncle.
Yes, your appointee on the Council of State. Uncle Sami Okujeto.
His company is now the secretary.
He's behind, Senate Charter Secretary.
So they are now the secretaries to the Cathedral committee.
Yes, not him. I must say that he's appointed Esther. The company.
But there's nothing wrong.
Yes, I haven't said there's anything wrong. That's why I said that.
The way you were making it mysterious.
No, it's nothing mysterious.
You were restrained because your uncle is involved.
How was I restrained? I revealed that he has interest in ownership. I didn't want to put myself at the center of matters. But back to weightier matters. Let's not be distracted by needless diversions.
So, Randy, you have to restrain. One second. We're having a discussion. Mm-hmm. Randy makes a point. You make a point. I want clarification. Yeah. How can you say that is a distraction?
Not Kevin De Bruyne.
How can you say that's a distraction?
So
I'm asking for clarification.
Okay, clarification. Okay.
And you've given it.
Okay, so I substitute distraction with clarification. Are you happy? Can I proceed?
Please go ahead.
Okay. So on the 24th of July,
for those of you involved in political communications, I hope you are learning. They're learning how to restrain themselves.
So
Eric has a family member.
How to take advantage of openings,
which are offered by the host. There's a reason why I quickly made a point that there's interest in ownership. Yeah, but back to the more substantive issue. So on the 24th of July, a very significant date. You know that 24th of July is the day we commemorate the passing of the only president to die in office, my mentor, the iconic Professor Mills. So the day brought us significant good news. The commission...
Today is the birthday of my late mother.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Should have been what?
77.
Okay.
Oh.
So the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice delivered a significant ruling. So all along, since the 16th of January, when this petition was lodged on all of these matters bordering on double identity, conflict of interest, the respondents, there are 7 of them: the Finance Minister, Controller Accountant General, the National Cathedral Board of Trustees, Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi, Victor Kusi-Boateng, Johannes Eshen, Sheila Eshen, all of them except the Controller Accountant General raised preliminary objections on the jurisdiction of CHRAJ to proceed with their investigations. They did not contest the substance, the evidence before CHRAJ. Remember that I was making the point about conflict of interest, that the same person on the board of the trustees as Victor Kusi-Boateng is the same person at JNS Talent Center Limited, who received payment of 2.6 million Ghana cedis for no work done. Really, my contention is that they were not contractors. They don't have any contract with the National Cathedral and should not have received that payment. And so, unknown to all of us, but for the investigations we did, we would not have known that it's the same person really transferring funds to his other identity under another company, another entity. So that really is the background. The opposition that the respondents filed, they are saying that matters of this nature should not be entertained by CHRAJ. Particularly, they are referring to the procurement breaches, because remember that in my petition I also raised the issue that there had been no respect for the procurement laws of our country. I did raise a right to information request to CHRAJ, and to the PPA, and the PPA responded that when it comes to the National Cathedral, they have not engaged in any approval. The project has not been brought before them, which is a major legal violation so far as the procurement law is concerned. They are saying that within the Procurement Act are remedies, and there should be a separate forum to deal with those breaches. It should not be CHRAJ's matter to look at. The CHRAJ should not be bothered with those matters. But CHRAJ has delivered a very erudite ruling, very detailed one, and they have overruled all the objections by the 6 respondents. And what is significant is that CHRAJ has, let me just read the last paragraph. It says that for the above enunciated reasons, the preliminary objections raised by the respondents are overruled, and the Commission will thus continue with its investigations into the matter. And it's signed by Joseph Whittle, the Commissioner of CHRAJ. So CHRAJ is now going to delve into the merits, into the substantive matters before it. And this is very significant. If these objections had been sustained or had been entertained by CHRAJ, it will mean that the petition is dead, and CHRAJ will not have gone into these matters to look into these very, very grave matters that have come up. So I want to commend CHRAJ for the courage. We've always talked about having strong institutions. I mean, it's not easy for a constitutional body to look at to all of these, if you like, prominent Ghanaians and overrule the objection. I mean, the finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, everybody knows, very powerful relative of the president. You have all of these board of trustees, Professor Opoku Nyina and others who all filed objections. And there are the other respondents, Edu Jemfi, Kusi Boatin, and others. So I want to commend CHRAJ. We need strong institutions, and they need to be encouraged, that the Ghanaian people are strongly behind them. They should not be intimidated at all. They should not fear whoever, tries to stop them in pursuing their constitutional mandate. I must also add that the other significance of this is that, the members of the Board of Trustees have been out there doing a lot of unfair communication, saying that if I have any evidence, I should bring them before institutions, and that, they don't even want to respond to my lies and all of that. Very, very, unfair and blistering attacks have been lodged at me, but they don't tell the Ghanaian people that all the evidence have been before institutions. They are not matters that I just put out on social media and go to bed. We've been working, we've been engaging lawyers, doing a lot of work. Appear before these institutions. Remember that even apart from CHRAJ, I've appeared before PPA. I have a motion in Parliament calling for a full-scale parliamentary probe, which has been admitted by the Speaker. And yet, they are quick to go out there and create the impression that, he only goes on social media, he's only engaged in a popularity contest. Very, very unfair attacks. Now, here we are, they have been exposed. All along, when they were telling the Ghanaian people that they are ready, they want to face any institution. It turns out that that is not the case. You are doing everything to prevent CHRAJ, constitutional body, from investigating, from doing their work. If really you have nothing to hide, you should welcome this investigation. You should be happy about it and say that, yes, the MP has petitioned, yes, CHRAJ, quickly go into it. We are ready. For 6 months, we have been battling jurisdiction. You've been trying everything under the sun to stop CHRAJ from looking into these matters. And yet you go out there and say that the MP is not ready to appear before credible bodies and state institutions, and that you are ready, but I am the one on social media engaged in a popularity contest. So I hope that the facts are clear now. They have been really exposed about their duplicity and their double standards. Doc, I must conclude on other interceptions which I made in the course of the week, which I know that you'll be really interested in those matters, because on this platform you have been asking consistently how did Victor Kusi Boatin, Kwabena Edu Jemfi come by his diplomatic passport. Those who issued the diplomatic passport were they aware or not of his dual identity. I don't know, Doc, if you have seen them, but I published documents that we intercepted from the Office of the President, dated the 10th of November 2021, where the presidency clearly was aware of this whole double identity scheme. So the president, the vice president, the chief of staff, the secretary to the president, they are all neck deep in this matter. Now I can say that categorically because of documentation, fresh documentation in our possession. So the National Cathedral Secretariat had written to the presidency on October 27, 2021. Says, Dear Chief of Staff, diplomatic passport for official travel. National Cathedral of Ghana, trustee member secretary. Greetings. I write to request a diplomatic passport for official National Cathedral of Ghana travels for Kwabna Edujimfi, aka Reverend Victor Kusi-Boateng, member secretary, National Cathedral Board of Trustees, with the appointment of a contractor for the project and the beginning of the construction phase. International fundraising and the development of international institution partnerships for the National Cathedral project has begun in earnest. The member secretary of the NCG Board of Trustees will be a key part in both the fundraising and play significant roles. We seek your help to acquire the diplomatic passport to facilitate these travels related to the development of the National Cathedral of Ghana. Thank you for your help in this matter. Yours faithfully, Dr. Paul Opoku-Mensah, Executive Director, National Cathedral of Ghana. Then the presidency promptly responds in a letter signed by Nana Bediatuo Asante, Secretary to the President. And this is a letter addressed to the Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration. It reads, Honorable Minister, request for diplomatic passport, Mr. Kwabna Edujimfi, aka Reverend Victor Kusi-Boateng. I write to inform you that approval has been granted for the issuance of a diplomatic passport in favor of Mr. Kwabna Edujimfi, aka Reverend Victor Kusi-Boateng, member secretary of the National Cathedral of Ghana, NCG, Board of Trustees, to enable him to undertake official assignments abroad. It would therefore be appreciated if you could kindly grant approval for a diplomatic passport to be issued to him. So these documents we have intercepted reveal that the presidency cannot play Pontius Pilate.
So the presidency,
yeah.
So from the secretary of the Cathedral Board,
yeah. Yes,
which is under the presidency,
yes,
to the executive secretary of the president,
yes,
they refer to the Kusi-Boateng as an alias.
As an alias, yes.
Yet, they are the same people who registered that name,
yes,
with a statutory document,
yes,
making him a trustee of the cathedral.
Absolutely.
And yet, that name which is on a statutory document in this letter suggests that it is an alias.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because
what kind of...
Yeah, as we speak, this is the article of incorporation. You still have Victor Kusi-Boateng.
Is it on their letterhead?
Yes, it's on their letterhead.
No, but I'm saying
on
that
their website.
Letters like this.
The appointment letter.
Letters like this.
Yeah.
For issuance of diplomatic passports.
Yeah.
From the secretary of the cathedral.
Yeah.
To the presidency.
Yeah.
And from the executive secretary or the secretary of the president. The title keeps confusing me.
Yeah.
You know, to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They say AKA.
Yeah.
Which means that it is an alias.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, that is the same identity with a statutory document that you have registered the person as a trustee.
Absolutely.
At the Registrar General's Department.
Yes. Yes. I mean, incredible. Incredible.
Yeah, so they are using the two names interchangeably.
Yeah, in official letters.
In official letters.
They are using the two
AKA.
names.
Yes, AKA in official letters.
As an alias.
I've never seen that before.
AKA means an alias.
Official letter. Yeah. Meanwhile, when it comes to your registration of the National Cathedral of Ghana, I have the articles of incorporation.
Now, do you get a point?
I'm seeing
you are using the alias Victor Kusi-Boateng. That's how you registered him. He has a national ID, his DVLA. He used the driving license to register this, which is in the name Victor Kusi-Boateng. Then he obtains a Ghana card in the name Kwabna Edujimfi. Then a diplomatic passport now, which you are applying for. If you did your due diligence, you will have realized that it's not even an alias.
No, they didn't need due diligence.
It's not an alias.
They are the same people who registered the man as a trustee.
Exactly.
With Kusi Boatin, with that ID.
Yeah.
And his name as Kusi Boatin is what is on their letterhead till today.
Exactly.
Now, why would you write an official letter and then the name which you have used to register the person as a trustee with a statutory document, you describe it as an alliance,
aka. Only in the presidency of Ghana. It's unbelievable. So you see why they cannot fire him, why he's all over the place. You know,
because if you want to,
untouchable.
If you even want to prosecute this matter,
can't be prosecuted.
If you want to prosecute this matter, in fact, those who wrote these letters, those who wrote these letters, they are those who should be prosecuted.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree with you. So look, tomorrow is pregnant. Tomorrow is pregnant. All the way to the Attorney General himself, who was on the board. He thinks he can now jump ship quietly and claim limited involvement. The day of accountability is fast approaching.
Tomorrow is the judgment or something.
Let me just clear something. When you are speaking about CHRAJ, did you say that the National Cathedral objected to CHRAJ jurisdiction?
Yes.
The National Cathedral itself?
Yes. Reverend Opoku, I have his, yes.
Because there's a portion of the thing that... Okay, so let me read this part.
Yeah.
Competency of Commission to investigate Board of National Cathedral. As already articulated above, the Commission has a mandate to investigate all instances of alleged or suspected acts of corruption and the misappropriation of public monies by officials pursuant to Article 218A and E of the 92 Constitution, Section 71A and F of Act 456. The third respondent, National Cathedral Board, Acting Parish Chairman Apostle Professor Opoku, did not challenge the jurisdiction of the Commission in this respect. The objection to jurisdiction has rather been raised, interestingly, by Counsel for 4th to 7th respondents. According to Counsel, a board of an artificial entity is not clothed with. So this is what the ruling says. It says that the Cathedral Board itself, as the third respondent, did not. It's rather the 4th to the 7th who objected.
But to that specific
that's
matter,
the competency of the Commission to investigate the Board of the National Cathedral.
Yes.
On that score.
Yes, but on that score. Yes. But they raise an objection on the political question doctrine.
Okay.
Signed by Apostle Opoku.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And they insisted that CHRAJ should not proceed.
Okay. On the basis of that.
Basis.
Just to have clarity.
Yeah, to have clarity. Yes. And their preliminary objection they raised is here in their letter dated January 31st.
So their objection was
January 31st.
Their objection was in the issue of the breaches of the Procurement Act.
Yes.
That's where they objected.
Yes, that's where they objected. Breaches of the Procurement Act, and then the political question doctrine. You know, as part of the petition, I said that we were told that public funds would not be used, but then on our blind side, they have used public funds without parliamentary approval. So they raised the political question doctrine. It's signed here 31st January. It's signed. It's a 12-page objection signed by Apostle Professor Opoku. So all
they objected to CHRAJ.
Yes, that CHRAJ should not proceed. It was only the control accountant who didn't file any objection. He appears to have welcomed it and is ready to cooperate.
And what is the basis of that CHRAJ shouldn't proceed?
Well, they cite some cases.
One, they talk about that the procurement breaches is not for CHRAJ to go into. Then they raise a political question doctrine that if politicians make promises and they don't, adhere to it, it's a political matter, and CHRAJ should not venture into political matters.
What's the human rights?
So the conflict of interest is so Apostle Opoku also challenges that they don't see any conflict of interest, but it's clear to me, and the CHRAJ has said, look, there's prima facie basis for conflict of interest.
But CHRAJ can deal with the conflict of interest.
Yes. Remember in my case, which has become really the locus classicus when it comes to conflict of interest, Bediatuo Ablakwa versus Jacob Echebilamte. The Supreme Court ruled that when it comes to conflict of interest, the forum, the CHRAJ, don't go to any other place. Don't go to the courts. It's CHRAJ. So that authority even came up in this ruling that they really have no basis.
You lost that case.
The Obechebi Lampe, yes, in a 5-3 decision. But we were commended for our, that's all we got, commendation.
At least three of the justices agreed
with us, yes.
The majority didn't agree.
Yes.
You are commended for bringing them
our patriotism and our public spiritedness.
PENDREAM TV now so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.
My never say PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, o say dem yopo